Hello guys, today I'm going to answer the tutorial question for week 6 activity. For question A is to describe the operation of fetching computer instructions from the RAM. First, let's understand how a CPU works. When a computer starts running a program, it addresses the RAM to retrieving the program, and the RAM address is consist of digit 1 and 0. When the computer turns on the set and enable wire, the RAM will automatically send the data that address back to the CPU, and the data is processed by the CPU. This process is happen over and over in the CPU. Next is the sample of instruction sets in the CPU, such as load, add, store, compare, jump if condition, jump, out, and ins. For example, load is to load a number from RAM into the CPU, and add is to add two numbers together. Now let's understand the operation of fetching computer instructions from RAM. When the set and enable wire is turned on, the output wire is then connected to the CPU bus. On the CPU bus or register, they have their own sets or register wire, which consist of the previous instructions. Therefore, the control units will then turn on the particular set wire to save the instructions in the register. For the arithmetic logic units ALU, they will use the temporal register, which consists of two inputs to process the instructions. Based on the instructions or data from the RAM, the control units will determine what type of operations is performed, such as compare or add instruction. When the CPU is ready for next instructions, the instructions address will be flow into the RAM. We can see here they have a register called memory address register, which used to tell the RAM what memory address does the CPU needs. The control units will turn on the enable RAM wire, and the RAM will automatically send back the data address instructions. Therefore, the control units will process again, and finally it gives outputs to the output device such monitor. This is the example of the flow chart of the operation of the fetching computer instructions. For the program counter, PC is a special register that holds the memory address to the next instructions to be executed. Each computer CPU have different stages due to different instruction sets, but normally they will be 4 stages, which are the fetch stage, decode stage, execute stage, and the repeat cycle. For the fetch stage, the CPU will send the content of the PC to the MARs, which is the memory address register, and sends a read commands on the address bus. In response to the read command, the memory returns the data stored at the memory location indicated by PC on the data bus. The CPU copies the data from the data bus into the MDR, which are the memory data register. Later, the CPU will copy the data from the MDR to the instruction register for instructions decodings. We can see here the instruction MDR is copied to the CIRs. The next stage is the decode stage. In the decode stage, the control unit will decode the contents of the CIR, and the decoding process is to allow the CPU to determine what instruction is to be performed. For the third stage is the execute stage. The control units will send the signals to relevant components such as ALUs, and the function of the execute stage is the function of the instruction is performed, and then is the end of the cycles. For question B, each instructions can be it is asked how frequent an instructions needs to be fetched. Each instructions can be processed by the CPUs in about 6 clock ticks, and for a normal CPU, it can process in 10 to 100 billion instructions per second. That's all from me. Thank you.